This is from the book of Luke, chapter 21, and verse 9. But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who I learned this truth from. I want to say peace, mercy, and blessings unto all of the hopeful elect. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, which means he exists or he is to be. The name of the Son is Yahushai, which means he is the deliverer. Okay, and we are the Hebrew Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the self-proclaimed white man, Caucasian, European. They are Esau, Edom, the wicked twin brother of Jacob. Jacob's name was changed to Israel. Right, according to Bible prophecy, Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Okay, and there's this thing with, the whole situation in the Middle East between Amalek, Persia, and the whole of Babylon the Great. It's only going to increase because it's wars and, rumors of wars. Right, this is from naturalnews.com. It says Mr. Trump's Persia strikes backfire. All right, whenever you see Iran, that is Persia. That name was changed to Iran in 1935. But those are the, when you read the Bible, you read about Persia. That's those people. And they play a very huge and critical role in end time prophecy. All right, especially when you take a look at Ezekiel 38. Right. Trump's Iran strikes backfire. Russia warns that Iran will likely be resupplied with nuclear warheads. Okay. The U.S. military strikes on Persia's nuclear facilities have achieved the exact opposite of their intended goal. According to Russia's former President Dmitry Medvedev, instead of crippling Tehran's nuclear ambitions, the attacks have reportedly emboldened Persia and triggered a dangerous new phase in global geopolitics, one where multiple nations are now prepared to arm the Islamic Republic with nuclear warheads. This shocking revelation exposes the catastrophic miscalculations of the Trump administration, which, under pressure from Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, abandoned diplomatic negotiations and launched a reckless military offensive. The opposite of what Trump claimed to want is occurring. Persia will likely be resupplied with nuclear warheads and capabilities. Key points. Russia's Dmitry Medvedev claims U.S. strikes on Persia's nuclear sites have backfired, pushing Tehran closer to weaponization. Multiple nations allegedly stand ready to supply Persia with nuclear warheads, escalating global instability. Western media will continue to portray Persia as having no allies, but this is nothing but propaganda. All right, and that's a great point because we can look at Ezekiel 38. Persia has many allies. Okay, and the biggest one are the Russians, man. Okay, this is from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 38, and verse 1. And the word of Yahweh Shem Shai came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him. Right, the Most High have his prophets prophesying against them too, because they're Edomites, and Most High is going to use them as a very critical role to bring down Esau. He's going to use Esau, to take down Esau with his own weaponry. The Most High is the Lord of hosts, meaning he controls the armies and the leaders, their thoughts. 3. And said, Thus said Yahweh Shem El Shah, Behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. 4. And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws. Okay, so that's another clue that these armies are being controlled by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And they're going to do his will, okay? Which is his will, is, to gather these nations to the Middle East to get the third world popping, right? And I will bring thee forth and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. So they're going to be strapped, armed to the teeth, okay, with all type of nuclear warheads, advanced warfare, weaponry, super soldier technology, whatever you could think of, man. Just use your imagination. They put it in video games like Call of Duty, but they actually got weapons and shit like that. 5, Persia. Okay? Persia. I'm going to say that one more time. Persia. Ethiopia and Libya with them. Right? So that's Ham, Ishmael. Okay? All of them with shield and helmet. Let's see. This is from our Euro News. Pakistan, all right, condemns Trump's bombing of Persia after backing him for Nobel Peace Prize. So this is backfiring on Esau. It's going to backfire, man. Okay, it's going to cause you to be greatly despised. Check this out. It's another article I found from InfoWars, right? Persia war risk humiliating Trump and destroying his legacy. Tehran retaliation and closure of Strait of Hormuz could trigger economic shock waves that derail Trump's Babylon first agenda, right? Because one thing you have to understand about the Strait of Hormuz, if they close that, then that's going to affect the world's oil supply, all right? From AlJazeera.com. Can Persia really shut down Strait of Hormuz? Persia can decide to close the vital maritime trade route, through which 1/5 of the world's oil supply is shipped every day. So that's huge. Okay? And, I believe that's another reason why they want to go over there is for that oil. It said amid Amalek's ongoing attacks in Gaza and Persia, U.S. President Donald Trump's unprecedented decision to bomb 3 Persian nuclear sites have deepened fears of a regional conflict in the Middle East. Over the weekend, the U.S. military carried out its first known strikes against Persia since the 1979 Islamic Revolution, toppled pro-Western Mohammad Reza Pahlavi. Tehran has vowed to respond, prompting fears of escalation. Okay? During an address to a meeting of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation in Istanbul, Turkey on Sunday, Persia's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said the U.S. crossed a very big red line by attacking Persia's nuclear facilities. One way Iran can retaliate is to shut the Strait of Hormuz, a vital trade route where 1/5 of the world's oil supply, roughly 20 million barrels, and much of its liquefied gas is shipped each day. That will lead to a surge in energy prices. So you can expect your energy prices to go up. Okay. The price of gas. Okay. And you know what people want to blame? They're going to blame this guy. So it's going to backfire, and he's going to become greatly despised. Really the whole West around the world. This is from AP News. Nations react to U.S. strikes on Persia, with many calling for diplomacy. Several close U.S. allies urged a return to the negotiating table following Babylon strikes on Persia that fueled fears of a wider conflict. While noting the threat posed by Tehran's nuclear program, some countries and groups in the region, including those that support Persia, condemned the move while also urging de-escalation. Okay? The UN. It's lucky I didn't want to do this. The UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres said he was gravely alarmed by the use of force by the U.S. There's a growing risk that this conflict could rapidly get out of control with catastrophic consequences for civilians, the region, and the world, he said in a statement on the social media platform X. I call on members of the states to de-escalate. Okay. The UK. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer warned of escalation beyond the Middle East as he called for all sides to negotiate a diplomatic end to the crisis, saying stability was the priority in the volatile region. The UK, along with the European Union, France, and Germany, tried unsuccessfully to broker a diplomatic solution in Geneva last week with Persia. Starmer said Iran's nuclear program posed a grave threat to global security. Persia can never be allowed to develop nuclear weaponry, and the U.S. has taken action to alleviate that threat. Russia. Dmitry Medvedev, who serves as deputy head of President Vladimir Putin's Security Council, said several countries were prepared to supply Tehran with nuclear weapons. He didn't specify which countries, but said the U.S. attack caused minimal damage and would not stop Tehran from pursuing nuclear weapons. Iraq. The Iraqi government condemned the U.S. strikes, saying the military escalation created a grave threat to peace and security in the Middle East. It said it poses serious risk to regional stability and called for diplomatic efforts to de-escalate the crisis. Egypt. Okay, so, you get the point. The other nations are looking at this and they're condemning Operation Rising Lion, which Amalek started, and the attack by Trump. So it's going to backfire, and it's going to result in Esau being greatly despised. Really, the West, and because they refer to the places as a great Satan and little Satan. Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Esau is being exposed. He's becoming greatly despised, and the whole world is beginning to see, all right, who the real problem is, who the real, problem on earth is for everyone. This is Ezekiel 38 and verse 5. Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. And this conflict is made to draw in the emotions of the world. This is why it's called a world war. So the emotions of other nations and leaders, they're going to get involved, and alliances are going to be drawn, right? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And the West has many enemies, 6, Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, the north quarters and all his bands, and many people with thee. Turkey is going to get involved, right? 7, be thou prepared. Okay? So you better believe the Russians are prepared. The bear is prepared, man. Okay? And prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So the reason why they're saying that, the Most High is going to put a spirit on them to guard over Persia, okay? Because they have interests over there, right? Which is why Medvedev is saying, like, hey, we could slide them nukes anyway, So there's your wars, the rumors of wars, right? Famine. It's from Capital in Maine. Uncertain harvest, agriculture season of gloom. While Trump considers expelling undocumented farm workers, callous economy hangs in the balance. For a brief moment, Trump had it right. For his administration facilitating threats to round up illegals and conduct mass deportations, the president's own message posted June 12th on Truth Social rang utterly true to the core of Babylonian business and its history. Our great farmers and people in the hotel and leisure business have been stating that a very aggressive policy on immigration is taking good long-time workers away from them. With those jobs being almost impossible to replace, Trump wrote, "This is not good. We must protect our farmers. Changes are coming. Changes weren't coming, it turned out, but they will be in a massive way if the Trump administration goes on to decimate the agriculture, hotel, and restaurant industries by stripping away the core of their workforce. An entire nation will feel it, right? Because now a lot of those, so-called undocumented illegals who are Israelites from various tribes, whether they be Venezuelan, Mexican, Cuban, Dominican, whatever. You speak Spanish, they after you. Those people are scared to go to work. But that's going to inflict further damage to the economy. So you can expect food shortages, man. You can expect the price of gas to go up. Okay, you can expect, to get back, right? You can expect Persia to try to get back. This is why major U.S. cities are on high alert. Let me see if I still got that article up. This is from newsnation.now.com. Major U.S. cities on high alert after U.S. strikes Persia. Major cities across the U.S. are on heightened security alert following Saturday night's airstrikes targeting nuclear facilities in Persia. Right, because these people, man, they about to get ready to barbecue. These women are getting ready to, shake their behinds and sleep with this man and that man. People getting ready to get drunk, commit adultery. They're dwelling carelessly. Wait, is that Zephaniah or Zechariah? Yep, there it goes. This is Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 15. This is the rejoicing city that dwell carelessly. So these people here, they're dwelling carelessly. They got a little money, they got their car, they got their, their weed. That's the main one. Niggas smoking, they don't want to do shit. So they got what they got, man. So they're not worried about what's happening over there in the Middle East because in their spirit, they feel like it can never happen here, right? That's why it's called the virgin daughter of Babylon, but it's going to be touched, man. All right? This is the rejoicing city that dwell carelessly, that said in the heart, I am, and there's none beside me. How will she become a desolation, a place for beasts to lie down in? Everyone that passes by her shall hiss and wag his hand. That's why it's likened unto the days of Noah, right? Because people really believe that this place ain't gonna never fall. Time of days of Noah, hey, people never experienced raindrops, lightning, things like that. Wait, I think that's Luke 17. This is Luke 17. And 26. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage, and that's what they're getting ready to do. The 4th of July is coming up. Okay? You don't be surprised if something happened. All right? It says they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also as it was in the days of Lot. They did eat, they drank, they brought, they sold, they planted, they builded. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. That's what's coming. This time that fire and brimstone is going to become, it's nuclear. The Lord's going to allow nukes to rain down. That's why there's talks of the N-word, as Trump put it, which is nukes. It's Isaiah 9:5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, meaning what? This time, this war is going to be a nuclear war, right? Let me see. Got too many windows up, but that's all right. I'll find it. Yep, there it goes. It's from Infowars.com. Trump threatens Russia with nuclear weapons. So they both threaten. So that's the war and rumor of war. Right now, it's just talking. Okay? But soon talking is going to get to nukes being shot. Right? A Russian official said other countries may give Tehran nuclear weapons, which triggered Trump's response. If anyone thinks our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away, the strongest and best equipment we have 20 years advanced over the pack is our nuclear submarine. So there's nukes on the subs. They can put a warhead on a fighter jet, fly over your shit and drop one, or they could just launch them, as a missile from a silo. So there's plenty of ways to shoot nukes, right? It says but that's the third woe. It's going to result in the destruction of Babylon the Great. This is Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe coming quickly. So it's coming very, very quickly, man. Okay, so I'll get one more precept, then I'll end it. I pray this has been informative and as well as edifying. This is from the book of Isaiah 19. I think it's 19. No, it's not 19. Is it 13? It's Isaiah 13 and verse 19. And Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldeans' excellency, shall be as when the Most High overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. And we just read, fire and brimstone came and destroyed them all. Okay? Nuclear. Right? This time it's going to be nuclear. Okay? And even the whore's own allies are going to turn against her, man. They ain't going to get tired of her. Right? It shall never be inhabited, neither shall be dwelt in from generation to generation, neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, and neither shall the shepherd make their fold there, but the wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there, and the wild beasts of the island shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant palaces, and their time is near to come, and their days shall not be prolonged. And it's going to be something put on world news, man. Okay? Because we're in the days where knowledge, information, technology, everything's recorded now. So, this is going to put fear on the whole earth. All right? In the name of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is going to be magnified. All right? And New Jerusalem is going to come down from heaven, which is the elect. They're going to come down with Yahweh Shai and have an everlasting reign on the earth, man. That's what's coming. The saints getting ready to take the kingdom, right? So with that, I pray this has been edifying. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, to the hopeful elect. Shalom.